Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide for Skullcrown, so let's get into it. Alrighty, let's pull up the index and go over Skullcrown here. Skullcrown is in the Night Revenant. She is the Void Attack Epic right here. And alright, so aesthetically, a very cool champion. If I were to do, a video at some point of like my top 20 coolest looking, best design champions, Skullcrown would probably be on that list. I love her aesthetics. First, we always want to look at the base speed. 96 would kind of constitute right in that kind of average range. Usually 95 and below is like slower characters, and then like 100 and above is faster characters. So anywhere that 96 to 99 range is kind of like just your average acceptable range for base speed. So something you always want to make note of when you're going over a character. The A1 is attack all enemies, place an extra hit if the target has more than 50% HP. This is an ability that you can get just a lot of general utility out of. A very well-designed A1. It's very good for campaign farmers, good for the arena, dungeons. It's good everywhere basically except for the clan boss. The A2 is attack all enemies with a 50% chance of placing a 25% weaken debuff for 2 turns. This is a very good A2. It's a 3-turn AoE when booked. And then it's got a very big chance when booked to place the big version of Weaken. So this is an amazing ability for dungeons, arena, again, basically everywhere except for the clan boss. And it's even decent against the clan boss because placing Weaken does help your Giant Slayer and War Master and stuff. Skullcrown, not amazing versus the clan boss, but there is that, at least. The passive, place an unkillable buff on this champion for 1 turn every time their HP drops below 20%. Now, it does have a 4-turn cooldown when booked, but this ability is incredible for the arena and dungeons, helping you to kind of stay alive and play a more glass cannon style, and then get a second chance at life. And then From Beyond is a tandem ability that Skullcrown has with Senesha on the same team. It's going to be a 6-turn cooldown when booked, and it's going to be basically a revive and a second chance at life again to couple with the resilient passive here. Now, Skullcrown and her tandem is Senesha. I went over this in my Senesha video. I do have a video guide on Senesha as well. I think Senesha and Skullcrown have one of the coolest tandem designs in the game. We'll see that Senesha's A1 is attack all enemies, place an extra hit on enemies with less than 50% HP, and then if we bump over to Skullcrown, we can see that her A1 is attack all enemies, place an extra hit if the target has more than 50% HP. So 1 is an extra hit when more, 1 is an extra hit when less. So very cool how their A1s kind of synergize with each other. So I really I wish there was more, character tandem and design in the game like that. So I think the developers nailed it in the design of Skullcrown and Senesha, both aesthetically and tandem wise with the abilities. So very cool there. I also want to point out that Skullcrown does have a speed aura of 23% in the arena. So obviously, lots of general AoE utility and just overall usefulness for Skullcrown. One of the best just overall champions in the game. As always, for my champion reviews, champion guides, I should say, I will have one of these down in the video description. It's just an infographic that kind of overall encompasses the character and kind of shows the masteries that I currently use for them. And then, I'll talk about the grades and the sets and all of that really quickly here. Skullcrown for optimal sets, you're gonna want speed and damage, attack, crit rate, crit damage, stuff like that. She needs a lot of speed, crit chance, and crit damage because you're probably going to want to use her in the arena as like a nuker, as a big damage dealer. She can perform very well there. So, we need speed in the arena, obviously. And then if she's going to be a huge damage dealer, to get utility out of her, we need crit chance and crit damage. Now, she also, needs attack and accuracy because she does place that weaken, which can be very handy in dungeons. You're probably not going to use her in the clan boss, but the accuracy can help in the arena and the dungeons, but it's not paramount. And then if you're going to go with any sort of sustain, you probably want HP because she's a pretty low defense character. Now, so in terms of the grades, campaign, I'll show you, I'll use my Skullcrown as a campaign farmer. I'll show you later in the video. She is S tier at the campaign, amazing. and can be used both to help you 3-star the campaign and also to be an end game campaign farmer. The clan boss is not where she shines. She didn't get an F because she does bring the weaken, which is a pretty good debuff to place on the clan boss, but a D- still. The arena, she's A+. She's one of the best nukers in the game, and she is just one of the best general damage dealers in the game. For the arena, she also brings that speed RO, which is incredible. Dungeons, A-. She doesn't have a ton of sustain, but you still have to give her an A because she does have that passive that can, give her the unkillable, and she just deals so much damage that she still needs to be in that A range. Faction Wars, give her an A. She can be your damage carry for your Faction Wars teams. Generally, just a base design of a team for Faction Wars at an introductory level. You want a buffer, a debuffer, a healer, and a damage carry. She can slot into that damage carry role, and she also places a AoE weaken, which is very good. So as long as you get all those bases covered, Skullcrown can perform as your damage dealer in Faction Wars, so she gets an A there. So awesome champion, one of my favorites, both aesthetically and utility wise. So let's go ahead and pull up my Skullcrown, and I will go over her, I should say. Now my Skullcrown is admittedly probably going to be different than what you want to do. I use Skullcrown in the Toxic set because I had really good Toxic gear that I wasn't using on anybody, so I wanted somewhere to use it. And I use Xavia, which is a nuker because of her deadly catalyst ability, deals damage from all poison debuffs. So what I do is I have my Skullcrown with AoE placing of poisons because of the Toxic set, and it makes my Xavia nuke that much harder in dungeons and the arena. So it's kind of a specific synergy thing in relation to my team. So even though you see Toxic set on my Skullcrown, I'm not saying that's the optimal route to go. I just do that because I have Xavia. Now, then you'll see that I have no set bonuses besides that. I'm using broken pieces. I just use a random retaliation and a random shield. Now, the reason is, once you see the gear, you'll understand. This shield helm is basically perfect. It's got some crit rate, some speed, some accuracy, and a ton of crit damage. So it's basically, that's the perfect piece for Skullcrown. So I had to slot it in here even though I wasn't going to get a set bonus out of it. Same with the gloves. They are basically perfect. Obviously, nowhere near as good as the helm, but they have a ton of crit rate, a lot of crit damage, and some speed to boot. Now, ideally, I would get accuracy instead of resistance here, and then they would be almost perfect, but they are excellent gloves. That's why they slot in, even though they are a broken set. For jewelry, we're normally going to want attack and then attack percentage, and then, whatever percent stats we can get besides that. Amulet is probably obviously going to be crit damage, and then whatever accuracy and stuff we can get besides that. Banner, it's going to be good to get accuracy, speed, and attack percent on. So main stats, obviously, we're going to want attack percent on our chest and speed on our boots, and normally crit rate on our gloves. Unless you can just get perfectly optimized crit rate, then you'd go with crit damage. So moving into the masteries, again, I will have a link to this down in the video description where you can pull up the masteries that I am currently using on my Skullcrown. I don't use her in the clan boss. You probably won't either. So generally, this is the most optimal route for her to go to crit damage. And then, I take the support route to get the Lore of Steel, and then the Cycle of Magic paired with a little bit of accuracy, and the Master Hexer for the weaken that she places. So yeah, that's kind of the general overview of my Skullcrown, and now I will show you that she can be used as an endgame farmer. Now, admittedly, I don't have her built for the campaign, so I'm kind of doing just a live run of showing you what she's going to perform like. I don't really know how perfect it's going to be or anything, but it looks like she's going to do just fine. Yeah, there we go. So I haven't even, that was literally my first run with her in the campaign, since gearing her. So she works great and can be an amazing 7 or 8 second campaign farmer for you. Some of the best dungeons that she will perform in, she can basically be a damage carry in any dungeon. I definitely put her in my Minotaur team. This is kind of the Minotaur team that I use, and then obviously we just add whoever we want to, you know, grind the masteries for down in this last spot. So normally your Minotaur team is going to be 4 people. I use my Skull Crown in my 4-person Minotaur team, and you'll be able to see kind of how the team works and how I, you know, designed it around that poison set. So my Bad L places a poison, then we debuff, then my Skull Crown nukes, and if she doesn't kill him, then the Xavia nukes the poisons that my Bad L and my Skull Crown are placing on the enemies. Boom, you can see there she does the Deadly Catalyst. She blows everything up. We're to the Minotaur in 15 seconds. And yeah, that's kind of the thought process behind my, you know, attack glass cannon nuking strategy that I kind of use my Bad L, my Skull Crown, and my Xavia to get done. So this core 4 is kind of a general theme in any one of my teams that do speed farming, like the potion dungeons. But some of them you need to bring special utility. But for dungeons like the Void Keep and the Arcane Keep, the Minotaur, and the Dragon, where it's just about speed, we can, you know, just use Skull Crown, this kind of core 4 team here. I'll also show you a Dragon run. Should be pretty quick. It's another one of those kind of speed farm, and you'll see that I slot in a Kymar. That last spot can really be adjusted. I've been testing a few different things in that 5th spot, but you know, go with the Kymar just to kind of reset things and keep it smooth. The nice thing about Skull Crown in the Dragon is sometimes in that second wave, we can really get blown up by the Horadins. They come in and hit pretty hard, especially on, you know, glass cannon characters. So the fact that she places that unkillable buff on herself can buy her enough time to really sustain and live for an extra life in the dungeon. That sleep from Kymar is pretty strong, but this is where it can get kind of rough, and you can start to lose some of your glass cannon characters, but it looks like they did all right in nuking him down quick enough. Ooh, we really wasted our cooldowns badly there. So this run won't be super good. Sometimes I can get my Dragon run to be about 1 minute or 55 seconds if the cooldowns are placed kind of properly. But this run, you know, they were not placed optimally. So this one will probably be about a minute 20, minute 25, somewhere in there. And you'll see Skull Crown places that that unkillable buff on herself for 1 turn because the Dragon brought her down below that threshold of proccing that passive. And there it is. Alright, so what do we get? Nope, that's an insta-sell. Alrighty, so after that Dragon run, I do want to show you how she can also be a very good nuker in the arena. So I'm in Gold 4, and we're just going to blow up some of these teams up here in Gold 4 with Skull Crown hitting ridiculously hard. So the way this is going to work is the Arbiter is going to buff us and do our turn meters. Then our Dracomorph is going to debuff the enemies. Now our Skull Crown is going to nuke and apply poisons. Now, whatever she doesn't kill, Xavia is going to come behind and clean up. So normally she hits them ridiculously hard and almost kills them. She didn't do very well against the Molly Tankard, so she'll live, but it'll be a pretty short life until she starts getting attacked again. But, you know, Molly held up pretty well there. She is a strong affinity to my Xavia, so she was very resilient and held up there. Let's move on to this one. This team is going to get roasted. I expect Skull Crown to come in. And I also love how fast her animation is. So, watch how fast this animation is for her nuke. Boom. It's just done. So, you know, like Xavia is kind of like, oh, and it's kind of slow. Skull Crown wastes no time. She's just boom, dead. It's a very, very snappy animation in the arena. Let's go to this one here. And you'll see just kind of how quick Skullcrown drops the hammer. I just love how quick and clean that is. She is an excellent arena nuker. So yeah, that kind of covers it for everything I want to showcase in this video for Skullcrown. She is an excellent champion. She can be used campaign farm, endgame arena, endgame in a multitude of different areas of the game. So if you have her, she's probably worth 6-starring and investing in. And yeah, that's going to kind of do it. If you have any questions, drop it down in the comments, and I will do my best to help you out. So as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.